everybody, AJ Resize here, and today I'm going to do a quick little demo on how to set up dual boot for both Windows and basically any Ubuntu based distribution. We're using Xubuntu in this case, but the same technique is going to apply definitely to just about every Ubuntu distribution, and pretty much if you understand how to do it here, you can do it on just about any Linux distribution. The installers might be a little bit different, but as far as the partitioning scheme and all that kind of goes, that's going to be the same. Now, for doing the video is going to, I was trying to figure out how am I going to shoot the video, because I've got to shoot it while doing an install, and I wasn't sure if running this in a virtual machine would work or not, but I kind of tried it out a little earlier today and it seems to work. So let me go and I'll open up this virtual machine. Now, what I've done excuse me, on this virtual machine is it has Windows 7 on it, but whether you're working with XP, Vista, really just about any Windows system, even 8 and 8.1, this same the same method is going to work. Now, I will say, if you've got a computer that has the UEFI on it, you will have to go and tweak a few, not really tweak a few, but change a few settings in your BIOS. As far as the actual install goes, it's going to be the same as what I'm going to show you here. So let me go and alright, and this is for my virtual machine here. So I'm going to set this one that I call dual boot. Let's start that up. And I already had the DVD in the machine, so it's automatically, if you look right down there, it's automatically pulling up the DVD. Now, you would have to go, and every BIOS is a little bit different, but you're going to need to go into the BIOS on your computer and select for whether you're doing booting from the DVD or from a USB. You're going to have to go in there and change the settings so that that device will boot before your hard drive. And actually, I did a previous video where I showed how to do a basic install, without doing the dual boot. So if you need to know how to set up the, burn the DVD or the USB, I'll throw a link up on here and you can go to that video and see that. I really didn't see any sense in rehashing all that, because that's all going to be the same. Anyway, now VirtualBox, while it lets me go and demonstrate here what how we do the install and everything, VirtualBox runs a lot slower than real hardware. So probably several times through this video I'll pause it while we're waiting for things to load and install and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise this video will be freaking long. So you can see the Xubuntu 13.10 live image is booting up now, and I will pause this video until it's done with all that. Alright, so here we are at our welcome screen. Now we're going to do the install Ubuntu. Over here on this side, you can see you could have picked what brain cramp there, what language that you want. And let me move my picture out of the way there. Okay, So you can see you got preparing to install Ubuntu. You know, all this is going to be familiar with you if you've done an install before, but I'll kind of walk everyone through it in case this is your first time for doing a install. Okay, if you want to download updates while installing, click that. If you want to install third-party software while installing, go ahead and click that. In the case of the third-party software, you can do that afterwards if you like. And a lot of times that's what I do, just so that I've got more control later on over, you know, what does and doesn't get installed, that sort of thing. But basically, like when you after you've gone and done your installation, you can go to the if you're using the software center, go to the software center and look for, in the case of Xubuntu, you're going to want Xubuntu restricted extras. Ubuntu has Ubuntu restricted extras. Go and install that. Okay, so you have this choice of install Xubuntu along Windows 7, replace Windows 7 with Xubuntu, encrypt, use LVM. We're going to do this something else down here because that way we get total control over the partitions. Okay, so we're going to click continue. Okay, and what we're seeing there right now is our current partitions. Now there's two partitions that were created by Windows when it was installed on this machine. Both of them use NTFS, which is the I guess you say default Windows format. Now here is our main storage. This 25 megabytes right here is the Windows 7 loader. What we're going to do, we're going to take that and click on change, and we're going to shrink that down. So currently that is 107 gigs approximately. What we're going to do is, let's kick that down to, let's say 50,000. That makes that partition 50 gigs. In this case, yes, before you select a new partition size, any previous change that's written to disk, you cannot undo this operation. Please note that the resize operation may take a long time. Really long in VirtualBox. But anyway, okay. You know, long story short, you know, we're going to shrink down that partition and add the partitions for installing our Xubuntu installation. And obviously how big you're going to make the Windows partition, it's all going to depend on how much you're using it and you know how much storage you need there. Obviously how big your hard drive is going to make a big you know, it's going to have a big impact. So yeah, I really can't say, you know, how big to make the Windows partition, you know, as far as exact size. You know, me myself, I'm almost never ever going to go to that Windows partition, so I shrink it down, you know, pretty small. But anyway, okay, so we've got basically 57 gigs to work with here. And once again, everything depends on the size of your hard drive and that sort of thing. But here's how we're going to do this. All right, we're going to, so for our first partition, we'll make it a primary partition. X4, yep, we're going to use that as our well, brain cramp as our format. Okay, so first I'm going to do the boot, which doesn't need to be very big. It can be like 1 gig basically. So, and actually even smaller than that. But that's what we'll do. So instead of 57 gigs, we're going to make this 1 gigabyte in size. Make that the boot. All right, now we're going to make, oh, and something to watch. On any one particular hard drive, you can only do 4 primary partitions. So, and actually, I could have gone in here and for the boot made that a logical partition, which is, I guess, the way you could think of that is a partition of a partition, if that makes sense to you. So you can do that to save a little space. And actually, let me go back here and I'm going to change that. I don't know if it's going to let me change that. No. That's okay. For our purposes, it's fine. But yeah, probably the boot could be a logical partition. Really, in all honesty, just about all of these could be logical partitions. Okay, so we got our boot partition. The next thing that we're going to make is our root. Basically, that is the how would I explain it? The base Ubuntu code, programs, that sort of thing. That's the root. So let's make that. Oh, I don't know. We can make that 30 gigabytes roughly. And this may throw a few people off because it doesn't say root, but if you just see the slash for mount point, that is root. So click OK. Free space. We still got some free space left. Good, because we still got some partitions to make. Okay. Now, swap area. This is one of those. There's debate among people as far as, do you need swap or you don't need it? How much do you need? All that kind of stuff. Most of the time, the way I set things up is I make a swap area equal to the amount of RAM that I got. So if I got 4 gigs of RAM, I'll give 4 gigs of swap area. And once again, this is one of those areas of debate. So I don't know that there's any, quote unquote right answer to this. Let's go and let's just assume that we have 2 gigs of RAM. So we're going to give it 2 gigs of swap area. Click OK. All right, and then finally our last partition. And let's make this a primary partition. Everything that's left, we are going to make our home folder. So /home, once again, the ext4 journaling file system. Click OK. And while I'm on file systems, there are a variety of different file systems you could use. X432, BTRFS, which is also commonly called ButterFS, FXF, FAT, all kinds of different ones. I would just say let's stick with EXTF or EXT4 and call it a day. If you want to go and read up on the benefits and downsides of the other filing systems, go right ahead. Really, we don't have the time to cover in detail the differences between all of them here. I just, stick with ext4 for everything with the exception of your swap area. Obviously, that's going to be swap. Don't change the Windows, your installations there. Don't try to change those to ext4 because Windows cannot read them. And make sure we're formatting all of these. Oh, that's right. Swap area does not need to be formatted. Where was I thinking? Device for bootloader installation. This, by default, is just going to say, SDA, which is the disk that we're working with. This only becomes an issue if you've got multiple drives, so that your bootloader is on the correct drive. But anyways, if you only got one hard drive, not something to worry about. So click install now. But anyway, here we are. We're not in New York, but yeah, that's our time zone. Okay, there we go. English US. Yep, that's our keyboard. And then I don't want to log in automatically. I want to require my password to log in. Continue. And boom, it begins its Xubuntu installation. Alright, I am going to pause this video while it's doing its thing, and then when it's done we'll come back and I'll kind of walk you through finishing things up. Alright, installation has completed, and we get this little message here: installation is complete. You need to restart the computer now to order to use the new installation. Click restart now, and it'll take it a few minutes to process everything that you just did, and then you'll get some message about either taking the DVD out or pulling out the USB, whatever, and then hit enter. There, see, please remove installation media, close the tray. So we'll take that DVD out, there we go, and hit enter. And here's our grub menu. You can give your choice between your Ubuntu installation, some advanced options, a memory test, and then also Windows 7. And that, as I say, is it. That's about all there is to doing this, to doing a dual boot installation. And as you can see, it's Xubuntu is booting up and all that right now, but that's pretty much it for 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's pretty much it for the doing a dual boot installation. And you can go and from that that menu that pops up at the beginning, that's what's called grub, and I forget what the acronym stands for, but that basically allows you to choose between multiple operating system. Grub can be customized, and actually I might do a video on that in the future, because like if, let's say for example, you have a couple different Ubuntu based distributions on the same computer. Well, in the grub menu, they'll all pop up as Ubuntu. Well, you can go into the grub menu and rename the various entries so that it would say Xubuntu or Lubuntu or LXD, all that kind of stuff. But I think everybody's got the gist of how doing the dual boot works. Hope this video's helped you out. Give it a big old thumbs up if you liked it. Hope you did, you know. But anyway, give it a big old like if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to keep seeing these great videos. Just hit 100 subscribers a few days ago. So to all my subscribers out there, thank you a lot. But you know, please share these videos with everybody. Hopefully, you know, I hit 100 subscribers. Next goal is 500. Next goal after that is 1,000. So let's see where we can get this. Thanks a lot. See you next video.